Hey everyone, Dan here. Before we get into it, if you enjoy these videos, please hit the like and subscribe button and keep in mind that these are my own thoughts, opinions, and ideas. These are not meant to be, nor should you take them as investment or trading advice in any way, shape, or form. Do your own due diligence, put in the work for yourself, and make your decisions based on that. Enjoy. All right, folks, here we are on Sunday, October 22nd. We're going to take a look at Palantir today. So Palantir, we'll start here on the Webull chart, then we'll flip over to the Thinkorswim. Things look a bit more, say, catastrophic on the Webull chart than they do look at on the Thinkorswim. So we'll talk through both of those views and kind of go from there. But interesting, this area where it was sort of stuck previously, right? Constant resistance right about this $16 mark, and it broke through. It was only able to hold it for a few days, and now coming back again today to test it. And it did dip below a little bit, but the bulls, generally speaking, stepped in to want to buy at that $16 level. So wanting to buy at the level where everyone was previously wanting to sell and not continue buying to push through that level. So if it could find support here at 16, that could be a good sign that previous strong resistance is flipping to current strong support. And then we'll just have to see how the sort of structure takes shape and what happens. Now, the potentially concerning thing is that there was this uptrend support, and it just fully broke through it today. And the chances of it coming up and quickly recovering back into it, of course, anything could happen, but it's potentially going to be pretty challenging because in order to do that, it would have to rise from about $16 up into, close to $18. By Monday or Tuesday in order to get back over there. So it's just such a huge jump in percentage gain. I'm not saying it couldn't happen, but it's a tall task. It would be a lot to ask. So right now I'm going to leave that there. And, if it becomes irrelevant, then we can take it off of the chart. If it is able to make sort of a stabilizing move, I wouldn't necessarily expect that. I would expect it more to find support over the $16 level. Again, if it's going to find a stabilizing move, it could, of course, continue to draw downward. If it does, then it puts in some downtrend resistance trend line, then we can put that on the chart to replace this uptrend support. So those are the things that I'm going to be looking for in the days ahead. EMA-wise, we're still in a bullish formation. Everything's stacked bullishly, but you see this strong curve down on the 8 EMA. Now, can it come down and sort of almost touch and then zoom back up? For sure. There can be sharp moves, but this is looking like it wants to curl and throw some bearish crossovers. Hey folks, just so you know, you can get these videos early and ad-free. If you click on the description below and become a member, you can make that happen, and I really appreciate the support. Thanks a lot. Enjoy the rest of the video. Well, I don't know today, but in the coming days, we should see it play out one direction or the other, or they may sort of bunch up like we saw here and just kind of build a base, coil, the price action until it decides what the next move is. So, that will sort of become clear in the days ahead, but EMA's pointing bearish at the moment, although they are still in a bullish formation. So this is sort of the gray area where Palantir is currently falling. All right, so that's the Webull view. Now on the Thinkorswim side of things, this looks a bit more thematic, if you will, insofar as the mid-range of the channel being the constant magnet. So it had a nice push off of here, spent several days pushing toward the upper bound of the channel / some time spent out of the channel, and then another push up to the upper bound of the channel, and then coming down, which what we always anticipate, at some point, stock coming to retest the mid-range of the channel. So this is always just a critical moment of, it's a retest, meaning what's it going to do there? Don't know. The point is, that it's at a critical juncture. And the point is, you should be paying attention to, is it going to flip this to resistance, or is it going to wrestle with it for a long time, just kind of move relatively sideways? Is it going to jump back up and grab support and then be able to make another push? That's the point of knowing that it's at a critical juncture, is to be able to decipher important price action when it's happening. Whereas maybe you put a little less stock in a push like this because you know that it was recently out of the upper bound of the channel and it reverted back down and it didn't quite reach the mid-range of the channel, and so you might put less stock in this push because it has yet to come test the mid-range of the channel. But once it's there, then you can say, okay, now it's basically at that fork in the road. But remember, the fork in the road is a three-pronged fork, not a two-pronged fork. It's not just will it go up or down. It could just wrestle with or sort of stay glued to the mid-range of the channel for quite some time and kind of move sideways. So we'll see. Now in the TTM squeeze indicator, previously back here, it was triggering, then it fired, and that gave us this big move up. Right now it's still working out that fire, and this showing that the bearish momentum the bullish momentum starting to draw down. So does that continue? Is that able to pick back up? And if it does come down to the baseline, what happens when we get here? You see this is like the baseline here, where it's basically like you don't see anything on the histogram, and then it starts to emerge again. So we'll see, but yeah, to me, when I'm looking at it, it does look sort of more catastrophic on the Weeble chart because of the break of this uptrend support, because of sort of the volume on this red candle, versus here it sort of looks a little bit more like, okay, this is kind of what you'd expect. It's coming to test the mid-range of the channel. It hasn't been back here for many days. And this is indicating that it's just in a neutral trend right now, right? So it's looks a little less like a catastrophe there, but it is still, like I say, it's at that critical juncture where it's going to make one of those three-pronged decisions. All right, folks, I hope that you enjoyed your weekend and that you have a great start to your week tomorrow. And as always, I appreciate you watching, and I will see you in the next video.